work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you very much for viewing the Volpe Report. I'm Domenic Volpe, your host for tonight. We have once again a great guest. We have tonight with us Kathleen Fitzpatrick, who is the managing editor for the North County News, here your local hometown paper. Welcome, Kathleen, to the show.
Thank you, Dominic.
Okay, so let's get started right away into a little introduction, a little bio of Kathleen. There is a rumor going around that you were born in Kansas and that you have a dog named Toto. Is that true or not?
That I fly around on a broom. There's that rumor out there too. Well, actually, born and raised in Yorktown Heights. Graduated high school in '86.
You just gave your age away.
I did. I don't have a problem with my age.
All right, good.
I'm a reporter. We tell it like it is.
Okay. So born and raised in the Yorktown community,
yes.
Lifelong, the whole thing, right? A family in the area too.
Yes.
Good.
Indeed. And I moved away for a number of years. Obviously, I went to college. For my undergrad, I went to Smith College in Western Massachusetts. Oh. Then I moved to Boston, where I did some community organizing, some union organizing, and then worked for newspapers. And then...
Is that when the journalism fever caught you, or were you still a puppy in those terms?
The journalism fever caught me when I was about, 14.
Oh, really?
Yes.
In high school?
In high school. I was the editor of the
local paper.
Of the high school newspaper. I was the editor of my college newspaper. I had some wonderful teachers in Yorktown High School. Particularly Mr. Heinold. He's retired and lives in Michigan now. But
the Yorktown district was always a very good district as far as the children goes.
My sophomore year, they were trying out a class called Journalistic English. And I was a member of that first class, and it still exists actually today. Is
Smith College a liberal arts college, a journalism college? So you
liberal arts.
You already knew that you were on that path.
Sure.
In a sense.
Actually, I received some great advice from Mr. Heinold and some other teachers to pursue a liberal arts education if I was interested in journalism. That way, I would not just learn how to write stories, but learn about life and get a nice, well-rounded education.
Sure. Well, exactly. The whole thing with liberal arts is that, or liberal education like that, is that you're really trying to. They're trying to complete the whole person, not just really just focusing on reading and writing, and that's it for a newspaper. Or whatever.
Sure.
Good. Very good. So you started this. You started getting a little tense. Now, so when you left Smith, where did you start? Where did you went into Boston? Where did you start your first foray as far as reporting or getting into the newsprint or news media?
Sure. When I graduated Smith, I had wanted to really get a taste of what it was like in the real world, and I wanted to not just continue reporting, but I had an interest in social justice, and I thought that would be where I'd eventually go, maybe reporting on social justice issues. And so that led me to take a job working for a corporate watchdog organization. And after working there for a year, went to go work for the United Auto Workers as a union organizer for a number of years. And then I was interested in getting back into newspapers. I missed it. I missed writing. And I missed being a part of community in that way. So I took a job at the local newspaper. It was a monthly. And then I went to...
Where was that?
That was in Boston, the Boston area, in Somerville. Then I took a job working for a weekly out on Long Island in Southampton.
Oh, I see. So it was the newspaper that you had been working with. It seems like it was always smaller in scope, smaller in nature. It wasn't a daily, it was a weekly.
No, it's always, I love weeklies. I love community newspapers because I think that is, they really have a great opportunity to create community, to help you get to know your neighbor, to let you know what's going on at the town board meeting, the school board meeting. And I love that. And I think they play a very important role in our democracy and in our lives.
Sure.
So that's really where my heart was always, and that's, when I was in high school, I had, dreams of going to the New York Times and
Washington Post.
Right, the Washington Post, but really my heart is in community newspapers.
Sure, very good. It really is. I mean, when you think about it, unfortunately, sometimes many people consider the journal news, for example, that anything north of 287, it's just one little blip, and everything else is south in White Plains area or a lower county. So really, the North County News does fill that huge void devoid of, you know, even when it comes to your sports, your sports section in the paper. It's important because, you know, local athletes, I mean, they work so hard in the development of their programs and their teams and their sport, and they'd like to see a little sunshine thrown on them once in a while, and they're not going to get it through a huge newspaper like that. So I think your paper does a very good job when it comes to that.
Thank you very much. We have a very hardworking sports staff. They're great. Isaac, Cass, and Rob D'Antonio really do a great job, and our sports section has been award-winning for
I was just going to say,
decades.
It's award-winning News Weekly. How many awards was it? Just last year, you won 7 awards.
7 awards, yes.
In what field?
A couple different ones, and we had best overall sports coverage, best front page, best crime and police reporting, and a whole slew of other things in there that.
And this is on a yearly basis. The North County is pretty consistent on getting this.
Indeed.
And this is what, is it the New York State gathers?
New York State Press Association.
And is this only for the weekly newspapers, like the different
we
subdivisions?
Compete against weekly newspapers across the New
York
State.
Are there many in New York State as far as small newspapers or weekly newspapers?
Yes.
Yes, there really hundreds, thousands?
Hundreds. Yes.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. So. Very good, very good. What would you say right now is the hardest part of the journalism as far as either is it the reporting, is it getting the proper information to press, is it the physical part as far as the the publication of the newspaper itself? Where do you see as the most difficult part when it comes to getting set for a weekly paper?
Oh, that's a good question. I guess I never think about it as what's most difficult because, while you're always looking ahead, you're also must focus on the task at hand. So, we have our story meetings on Thursday. The staff gets together and we discuss what's the outlook for the week. But things change. It's a newspaper, so really.
So in other words, what may have been a headline. Well, when do you go to press? Let's put it that way.
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning. So would you say there have been times where Monday night you had the front page story, and by Tuesday morning, all of a sudden something else happens, so you have to quickly rearrange everything?
Sure. I have an idea, try to have an idea what's going to go on the front page by Monday, but I rarely do.
Well, really? Oh, it changes that much?
Yes, indeed.
So it makes it a little hectic that last...
Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesday mornings are, but particularly Tuesday late afternoon into Wednesday morning is
So your dog doesn't even want to see you on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Oh, he's very displeased with me by the time I get home on Wednesday. We try to we try to buy him off by bringing him home gifts and whatnot. But it's the nice thing about living so close to where I work is that I can run home for lunch and take him out, and it's great because he's been very spoiled. He's 4, and I used to be able to take him to work with me where I used to work. I used to work right next door to my office, and then another job I had, I could take him with me to the office, and so he's not really adjusting well to mom being away.
Well, you've taken on, starting, how long you been with the paper now? A little over a year?
A little over a year. Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, we were just talking about this before we came on. I think I first met you at a fundraiser in Putnam Valley, I think it was. You were as green as they came.
I was doing the rounds, yes. It was one of the challenges was that it was such a huge election year for local elections.
Yes.
And coming in, taking the reins as managing editor, I needed to learn the politics of each of the communities as quickly as possible and get to know the candidates. So I was running around.
It's not even just assimilation, but it's more acclimation as to what's going on, who the players are, knowing who they are.
And what's important to the people in those communities.
Right.
We cover many communities, 7. And so it was really important for me to submerge myself as quickly as
What are the 7 communities are Peekskill, Cortland, Yorktown, Putnam Valley, and I'm missing the other 3.
I have to do them again myself.
Okay.
And I have to do them on my fingers too.
Go.
Oh, my mother's not watching. Yorktown, Somers, Putnam Valley, Cortland, Peekskill, Croton, Buchanan.
Right. The Tri-Village area.
Am I forgetting anybody? Ossining.
Oh, Ossining is the other one. So it's it's vast and it's pretty widespread.
Right.
Any problems with it? Just like anything else, just like any business, there's always little problems. Do you have reporters? Is there a high turnover rate with reporters?